Welcome everybody to another video of Ancient Greece Reloaded. Today we will talk about the famous sun god Helios. By the way, if you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, so stay tuned for upcoming videos. In Greek mythology, Helios was the Titan god of the sun. Thus, he belonged to the category of Greek gods and goddesses that dealt with the light and the sun. Other members of this category were Aether, Hemera, Hyperion or Apollo, just to name a few. Overall, Helios, in Greek pronounced Helios, was the son of the Titan god of light Hyperion and his wife Theia, the goddess of sight, and hence Helios was brother to Eos and Selene. Born in the golden age of Greek mythology, Helios would become the sun god, with the responsibility of bringing the light to the world. Men would see the sun traversing across the sky, and to the ancient Greeks this was explained by the daily actions of Helios. Helios would have a magnificent palace in the domain of Oceanus, at the farthest eastern extreme of the world, and each morning Helios would leave his palace and climb on board of his chariot, a golden chariot pulled by four winged horses, Pyrrhus, Aeos, Phaethon and Phlegon. Helios and his chariot would fly across the sky, and at the end of the day they would descend to Earth at the farthest western extremes of the Earth, near the island of the Hesperides, again in the realm of Oceanus. Overnight, Helios and his chariot would be transported in a golden cup through the northern streams of Oceanus, back to Helios' palace, although some writers claim that Helios was transported in a golden ship or upon a golden bed. Whilst with the rise of the Olympians the importance of Helios diminished, by the fact that Apollo was increasingly associated with the sun in Greek mythology. Helios continued to appear in the tales of Greek mythology because, in contrast to many other titans, Helios was not punished after the Titanomachy. The titans that were not punished were the ones that were either siding with the Olympians or remained neutral during the Titanomachy. In the case of Helios, he remained neutral. It was said that as Helios crossed the sky, he observed and heard everything that occurred on Earth. This omniscience saw Helios appear in two famous Greek mythological tales, and it was Helios who eventually revealed to the goddess Demeter that her daughter Persephone had been abducted by Hades. It was also Helios who revealed to Hephaestus that his wife Aphrodite was having an affair with Ares, a revelation that saw Aphrodite and Ares caught in a net, and every god saw them trapped naked. Helios would appear in many other tales in Greek mythology, including an appearance in one of the most famous stories, the Odyssey. Having survived many trials and tribulations, Odysseus and his men arrived on the island of Helios, but despite prior warning, Odysseus' men started to feed upon the cattle of Helios. Helios soon found out about the sacrilege, and going to Zeus, Helios asked for vengeance. Vengeance would come when Odysseus started traveling on the sea once again, for the ship was struck by a thunderbolt, leaving Odysseus as the lone survivor. Helios would also be encountered by Heracles, as the Greek hero sought to steal the cattle of Orion. Crossing the desert, the heat of Helios greatly annoyed Heracles, and so Heracles started to shoot arrows at the god. Helios agreed to help Heracles if he would stop shooting arrows at him, and so Helios placed Heracles in the golden cup, so that he could cross the final stretch of water to get to the cattle of Orion. Helios would also, on occasion, give willing assistance, for Helios rescued Hephaestus from the battlefield during the Gigantomachy, and also restored the eyesight of Orion, when the hunter had been blinded by King Enopion. Also, according to Pseudo-Apollodorus, when Zeus desired to sleep with Clymene, he made one night last threefold, hiding the light of the sun, by ordering Helios not to rise for those 3 days. Apart from it, Helios was also a competitive god, like most deities of the Greek pantheon, with two tales being told about his competition with the other gods. Firstly, according to Pausanias, there was a time when Helios and Poseidon competed for the sacrifices of Corinth, and so fierce was the competition that violence was expected. To mediate, Briareus, one of the Hecatonchires, was brought in to act as an arbitrator. Thus, Briareus declared that the Isthmus of Corinth belonged to Poseidon and the Acropolis of Corinth to Helios. Famously, Helios also appears in one of Aesop's fables, in which the Greek sun god competes with Boreas, the Greek god of the north wind. Both gods sought to get a passing traveler to remove his clothing. Boreas sought to do so by might, and the wind got blue and blue, but this simply caused the traveler to wrap his clothing more tightly around him. Helios, though, tried a gentler persuasion, and by causing the traveler to get warmer, the traveler willingly removed his clothing. As with many other gods, Helios was also famous for his lovers and children. Helios was not necessarily thought to have a wife, although the Oceanid Perse might fit into this category, but he had a number of lovers in addition to Perse, including the Oceanid Clymene, as well as Cliti, Rhodos and Leucothea. Helios was also father to many famous children, including the nymph daughters Lambetii and Phaethusa, who tended Helios' cattle upon Thrinakia. By Perse, Helios was also father to Aeetes, Perses, Kirki and Pasiphae. Aeetes and Perses would be famous kings, ruling on Chios and Persia respectively, and so Helios was also grandfather to the sorceress Medea, through Aeetes. Helios' daughters, Kirki and Pasiphae, were also famous sorceresses, with Kirki becoming a lover of Odysseus and Pasiphae becoming the wife of King Minos of Crete. Arguably, the most famous child of Helios, though, was born to the Oceanid Clymene, for Clymene bore Helios a son named Phaethon. When grown up, Phaethon would seek assurances that he was indeed the son of Helios, and not even the words of his mother would reassure him. Thus, Phaethon visited Helios to seek confirmation, and Helios would rashly promise to Phaethon whatever he desired, so as to prove that he was his father, swearing an unbreakable oath to do so on the river Styx. Phaethon, though, asked to be allowed to guide Helios' chariot for one day. Helios saw the folly in such a request, but could not get Phaethon to change his mind. Unfortunately, Phaethon very quickly lost control and the chariot veered wildly across the sky. Flying too close to the ground, the earth became scorched, and flying too high caused other parts of the world to freeze. Zeus was forced to intervene to stop the devastation that was being caused by the son of Helios, and Phaethon was killed by a thunderbolt. It would take much cajoling from other gods afterwards to have Helios to remount his chariot again. Finally, Phaethon was conveyed to the stars by his father Helios as a constellation. The constellation associated with Phaethon was the Auriga, or the Charioteer. Let us finish with the following saying: "Be in battle daunting, and courts humane, Demosthenes." That being said, remember guys to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, it would help us a lot. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for upcoming videos.